I thought I knew what a festival was. A dusty parking lot, a sad-looking Ferris wheel, and a $9 hot dog that's probably been dropped on the ground twice. But I was wrong. A tiny Filipino town completely changed my understanding of what a festival is. In the Philippines, especially in the small towns nobody ever talks about, festivals are basically an explosion. A joyful, chaotic, loud, emotional, food-filled explosion. And because I am a curious blonde American woman with way too much confidence and absolutely zero Tagalog skills, I decided to throw myself straight into one of these tiny town fiestas just to see if I could survive. My journey started when several Filipinos kept telling me, if you want the real fiesta experience, don't go to the big cities. The small towns have the best celebrations. I'll be honest, I didn't believe them at first. I mean, why would a small town have a festival big enough to compete with world-famous ones like Sinulog or Mascara? But then someone sent me a message. It said, go to this town. They have a festival where they dance in the streets for 8 hours straight. 8 hours. Meanwhile, I get tired walking up a single flight of stairs. So naturally, I booked a bus ticket. Getting to the town was an adventure in itself. I crammed myself into a provincial bus where the air conditioner had 2 modes, Antarctica or not working at all. People were carrying giant bags, boxes, and even a live chicken. I have no idea where that chicken was going, but based on its anxious clucking, it probably didn't know either. The Filipinos around me just kept smiling, offering me snacks, and making sure I didn't miss my stop. I've traveled to a lot of countries, but only in the Philippines do strangers immediately become your temporary family. When I finally arrived, I was expecting a quiet rural town. Instead, I stepped off the bus into what felt like a massive street party that had been going on for days. Colorful banners called banderitas hung above every street like a ceiling of rainbow confetti. People were setting up food stalls. Kids were running around with balloons and popsicles. Grandmas were holding big pots of pancit like they were cradling newborn babies. And the entire town smelled like fried chicken and roasted lechon. It wasn't even noon yet. The first person to welcome me was a Lola, a grandma, wearing a floral blouse and a mischievous smile. She grabbed my arm and said, "You are American? You dance later, huh?" Fiesta is not complete without foreigners. I laughed, but inside my soul quietly panicked. Dance? Me? In public? In front of the whole town? I can barely keep rhythm to Happy Birthday, but the fiesta energy was contagious. Everyone was happy. Everyone was welcoming. Everyone kept offering me food, even when I said no, which, by the way, in the Philippines means absolutely nothing. If your plate isn't overflowing, Filipinos believe you are in desperate need of saving. I learned that this festival was based on a centuries-old tradition. Many small towns here have fiestas that honor patron saints, celebrate harvest, or even commemorate historical events. They're a blend of faith, community, food, dance, and pure, wonderful chaos. By the time the afternoon parade started, the entire town lined the streets. A marching band played this loud, joyful music that felt like the sound of sunshine. Dancers were vibrant, handmade costumes that families had spent months preparing. Some kids wore angel wings. Some adults wore outfits covered in sequins and feathers. Even the tricycles were decorated like they were competing in their own fashion show. The moment the dancers started moving, I understood why people said small-town fiestas are the best. It wasn't polished like the big city parades. It was raw, real, and just full of heart. These dancers weren't performing for tourists or cameras. They were dancing for their community, their families, their history, and somehow that made it so much more powerful. Of course, this is also where things went a little wrong for me. As dancers passed by, one of them spotted me, the tall, blonde American trying to blend into a crowd of people who are all 5 inches shorter and 200% more skilled at dancing. The dancer pointed at me, smiled like she'd just discovered a new species, and yelled, "8! Join us!" Suddenly, the entire crowd around me started cheering. "Go! Go! Dance! Dance!" I wanted to say, no, I cannot embarrass myself like this, But then I remembered the Lola from earlier. The pressure was real, so I did the brave thing. I stepped into the parade. Now I wish I could tell you I danced gracefully, like a woman born to move. But the truth is, I danced like a confused pencil. My limbs went in 4 different directions. My hips had no idea what they were doing. My brain tried to copy the steps, but my body said, nope, we've never done this before. And yet, people loved it. They clapped, they laughed, they cheered. They even shouted, wow, galing, which means, wow, amazing. That is a lie. It was not amazing. But Filipinos are so kind, they'll compliment you even when you look like you're being controlled by 2 different remote controls. After surviving the parade, I decided to explore the food stalls. This, my friends, is where Filipino fiestas shine the brightest. Tables full of pancit, lumpia, lechon belly, grilled squid, chicken and asal, and rice. So much rice. I asked one man why there was rice with every single dish, and he looked at me like, I just asked why the sky's blue. Rice is life, he said, completely serious. I just nodded respectfully. In the Philippines, rice is a personality trait. I tried bibingka, a coconut rice cake cooked in banana leaves. I tried halo halo, the famous shaved ice dessert with purple ice cream, beans, and mystery ingredients I still can't identify. I tried isa grilled chicken intestines and pretended I wasn't scared. It was actually delicious. I would happily eat it again, as long as someone else grills it. I also learned that every fiesta has a video machine. This one had 3. And Filipinos take their singing very seriously. One man sang Whitney Houston with so much passion, I was genuinely worried he was going through a breakup. A little kid sang My Heart Will Go On while eating chips. And then someone handed me the microphone. My choices were run away, fake a sudden illness, or become Beyoncé. I chose to become Beyoncé, or at least I tried. I sang Dancing Queen, and while I'm definitely not a dancing queen, the crowd still cheered like they'd discovered a new superstar. Filipino kindness is undefeated. As the sun set, the festival transformed again. Lights glowed from every house. Music played from speakers bigger than the doors they came through. And families gathered around long tables full of food. I was invited to join a family I had never met. They told me, Fiesta is for everyone. We sat together, eating and laughing. Their Tito, their uncle, asked me what I thought about the festival. I told him honestly, I have never seen a community come together like this. Where I'm from, towns don't always feel this close. But here, a tiny town in the Philippines felt bigger, louder, warmer, and more alive than any city I've ever been to. Tito nodded proudly. Fiesta is not just celebration, he said. It is family. Even strangers become family. And he was right. That's what makes these fiestas so special. They're not about tourists or perfect choreography. They're about community, generosity, and the ability to party for 8 hours straight without collapsing. When the night ended, I realized something important. There are hundreds of small towns in the Philippines, just like this one, each with its own festival, its own traditions, and its own secrets. These are the places tourists almost never visit, but they are the true heart of the country. And now, as a blonde American who danced terribly in a parade, ate way too much lechon, and got adopted by an entire community for a day, I can confidently say the tiny towns of the Philippines are where the real magic happens. And I'm ready to discover every single one. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more adventures.